Welcome back to another one of my videos. As always, I find these stories that I read to you from different subreddits on the Reddit website. And I always leave a link in the description. So that way, instead of watching gameplay through the video, you can read along if you would like to. That said, let's get into the video. When I was 6, my mom moved in with a man. Not just any man. We moved in happy that we had finally gotten a home, a house to stay in and be safe, no troubles, and we could be a family. I won't mention his name, but he was in love with my mother. He was a very expressive man. He had passions that can't be explained. As the years went by, I started to notice an unfamiliar pattern from the man and my mom. My dear mother would sleep on the couch as the man had a king bed all to himself. I thought it was normal at first. As a little kid, I thought that it was just normal to sleep away from your husband. I was wrong. It's not a normal thing, and little did me know that this was just the start of something horribly bad. The man started getting angrier every time she would sleep on the couch, as he missed his wife and he would end up screaming at her. I remember all the screaming. Every night I wasn't allowed downstairs, and of course I didn't want to go down there at night anyway, but the screaming made it worse. It's not just arguing or anything that you might think. It was him yelling at the top of his lungs at my mother. He thought she was cheating, but even if she were to cheat, could you blame her? She was unhappy in this marriage, and he wasn't going to let her go. Every night before bed, they would read me and my sister a bedtime story, a scary story. This caused me to have nightmares, or even night terrors. They would gather all in a circle and comfort me, but right after I went back to bed, the screaming would continue. It was abnormal for kids our age to experience such trauma. I believe I was 7 or 8 years old when I finally realized this wasn't a game. This wasn't fake. This was terrible and nobody was going to fix it. I remember the time the man threw a cup through the wall. It made everyone scared. My mother, she cried. She tried to get us out of the house and away from him, but it was no use. We got in the car and he held onto the window and tried breaking it. We went to my grandmother's house and then went to a hotel because we didn't want to bother her. The next day, I remember going back to that house, but when we went back, all of our clothes were scattered in front of the house. He wasn't there. He was gone, and he wasn't okay to be running around. He was crazy at this point. We still lived in that house for years. I finally said to my mom that we need to leave while he's not here, while he's not home. We need to escape. I left that night and we never returned to the house to live and stay. I go to a new school now, and people that also went to the school I went to before this one ask me why I left. I simply say it was a hellhole. Night shift at the school. I was in my early 20s when this happened. I needed a job, so I applied for a job as a night janitor at Walnut High School. I arrived at the school around 8. I put on my outfit and started mopping the floors. As I entered the gym, I saw a silhouette of a figure far away. I turned on the light, and then I realized it was just the school mascot. The mascot resembled a bunny smiling, wearing a white and blue striped sweater, and blue jeans and red sneakers. "How the hell is this thing standing?" I said, walking up to the mascot. When I picked up the head, I realized there was a mannequin inside. I thought nothing of it and continued mopping the floor. A while later, I realized that I had forgotten to turn off the light in the gym, but when I entered the gym again, the mascot that was on the mannequin was gone. I got worried, and when I exited the gym, I heard the Kill Bill whistle, but when I looked back, there it was, the school mascot, and he started sprinting at me. I ran as fast as I could, but when I exited the building and looked back, he was gone. I got in my car. The next day, I asked my boss if anyone was supposed to be with me last night, and he said no. To this day, I still don't know who that was, but I don't want to think back about it. Come and play. My eyes have wandered too far, and now I pay the price. I made an innocent mistake that will not be forgiven. I associated fairies with Thumbelina, toadstools, enchanted forests, and a chorus of beautiful music. Sing they do, And yes, it is so lyrical but haunting. I wandered by chance on Midsummer's Eve into a fairy circle. It just appeared to be a ring of mushrooms. I found it off in a trail in a meadow of my local park. Then I saw them, glowing with fairy dust upon the wings. Everything I imagined and more with such wondrous colors. Sapphire, seafoam, garnet, candy floss, nightshade. This was the most splendid sight I'd ever seen. At first glance, they seemed to be joyful, continuing their melody. I thought I had gone unnoticed watching this fairy soiree. Their eyes reflected the northern lights, until they seemingly invited me to join the dance. It was at first slow-paced and elegant. I did my best to copy the moves. It wasn't long until I was utterly entranced by the movements and the song. The tempo picked up, as did the speed. Soon I wasn't able to keep up as it grew quite rapid. I found my legs wouldn't stop even though I felt out of breath. Panic was now taking over the joy and replaced it with fear. The fairies looked positively feral with sharp teeth. I was completely at their mercy. They had cast a spell on me. I grew weak and dizzy as the blisters on my feet formed. Their sound and music gave way to malicious laughter. It grew deeper in pitch and even more sinister. I spun faster, faster, and faster, near out of control before they released me, and I fell to the ground panting for air. Sweet human, it was fun to play with you. We'll have to do it again sometime. I thought bitterly, this is what you do to people you like? They retreated as if to let me escape. I forced myself to jog. It was all I could manage. Their last message had indeed been a warning and threat. If this was playful, I really didn't want to know their fury. I couldn't walk on my feet for a while. They were blistered badly and the soles felt painful as they bled. I was so lucky to have the soles of my feet. My ankles could have snapped. They could have made me dance to death. I have no idea what stopped them. The laughter stalks my days. Sometimes in the night I'd lock every window, every door, and would hide away in fear. I never wanted to see another pixie or any creature ever again. It's far too risky, as is terrifying. Especially on moonlit nights, the kind you'd love to stargaze under. You'd never know if their prying eyes would be upon you or what magic they would use. Would they lure you out with pretty promises, as they do to me? As night falls, they come to see me and speak of wondrous places beyond the veil. The fairy lands where there is no more pain, no old age, only play and good times amongst the fairies. They say in the sweetest voice, and I wanted to believe them in spite of everything. That was another horrifying thing. I would disregard my safety and my life just for another dance with them. I go to my door at night and I can never open it. I want more than anything to walk in the moonlight with them, but they will kill me. One day, they will wait till my power crumbles or till I'm driven utterly mad. Come outside. Come play with us. Hearing those words, I just broke down and cried. I'll never open the door for them ever. If you liked that video, then like the video. If you're going to bed soon, sweet dreams. And if you have a full day ahead of you, I hope it goes well. Thank you for taking your time to spend on watching